Okay, so in this section we're going to talk about the redshift color layer. It's actually a pretty straightforward one. If you understand Photoshop layers, you already understand the redshift color layer. So let me go ahead and bring a clean one of these guys out, and we'll break it down real quick. Just going to pipe this directly out to the surface. Okay, so if I spin all these up, we just have a bunch of layers. Now they do build up from top to bottom instead of like Photoshop from bottom to top. So just imagine the top one as the bottom, and every consecutive layer below is layering on top of the layers above it. So for example, if I've got white as my base layer, that doesn't seem right. Let's see. Oh, I guess, yeah, okay. I guess layer 1 just comes enabled by default. So if we turn that off, we're going to see that we just have white here. So then I enable layer 2, and this color is going to layer on top of my base layer, the layer above it, by whatever the blend mode is. Now, normal mode means that this mask is just going to mix the layer on top of the other layers above it. So you can see as I drive this up, the black completely overrides at 1 and is completely gone at 0. Now there are also a bunch of other blending modes. We'll just do a quick multiply. So with multiply, we're multiplying the layers above by whatever value comes into the color channel. In this case, it's a bunch of zeros. So if we multiply by 0, we're going to end up with 0. If we multiply by, let's go to green, set that guy all the way up. If we multiply by green, we're going to get green. And then you've got a total of 8 layers that you can blend together. And that pretty much sums up the color layer node. You can start doing some tricky things by plugging things like noise or surface evaluations of some kind into the mask. So for example, if I drop down a noise, let's just take a look at what the noise looks like. Swing and a miss. Here we go. And we'll just clamp this down a little bit so it's really apparent what's going on. There we go. Let's look at our color layer again. So now we're going to take that noise that we just had, and anywhere that it was black, that means it's going to be a mask value of 0. And anywhere that it was white, it's going to be a mask value of 1. So let's plug our noise into the layer 1 mask. And now we can see we're multiplying the green layer onto the white layer, driven by our noise values. Now if I flip this back to normal mode, in this case it should look exactly the same, but if I went and subtracted, for example, now we're subtracting green from white anywhere that the noise was showing up white. So we can take these principles and start to do some kind of cool things, like drive our diffuse channel on this model. Now let's go ahead and quickly break down what we've got going on here. So let me skip the material, and we're just going to go straight out to the surface and break this guy down. So I've got a base layer and then layer 1 and layer 2. I'm just going to turn these off for a second and break them down one by one. So base layer, I've just picked this color value. If I hit enable on layer 1, you'll see that I'm using a curvature node as my layer 1 mask. Let's take a look at that really quick. And I'm using this image texture projected with the triplanar node, and that is going into the layer 1 color. So let's take a look at that guy again, and this is the result. My blend mode is normal, so wherever my curvature shader was white, my triplanar projected image texture will be mixed just directly on top of the green layer. And that's what we're seeing here. And then if I flip on, I'm going to turn layer 1 off for a second. And if I flip on layer 2, you'll see I've just got this little speckly texture. We'll just take a look at that really quick. It's simply an image texture pumped through another triplanar. And in this case, my blend mode is set to difference. So we're doing a difference between the green base layer and my triplanar projected image speckly texture. I might actually get some different results if, for example, we used subtract. So that image texture is black with white speckles. So anywhere that there's black, we're subtracting 0, which means it's going to stay precisely the same as my base layer color. And then wherever the white shows up, it subtracts a white value from the base layer color. And that's what's giving us this black. Now, I haven't masked this at all, but what I can do is maybe say, I don't want it to be totally black. Let's just make it like a dark green. So I'm just manually sliding my mask layer down here. Keep these numbers clean and just say 0.25. And then if I enable layer 1 again, you'll see we've got our green as the base, the curvature masked image texture, and then our layer 2 as the speckly texture subtracting to make a dark green. However, it seems like it's kind of hard to see those guys. So maybe let's find a good value here where we can see them. Maybe 0.55. Looks pretty good. And then all I've done is taken the result of my layer color and piped it into the diffuse color of this redshift material. And there we go. But you know, now that I'm seeing this, I kind of want to have some more variation in my specular and maybe a little bit of a bump. Okay, well, how about this? If you only came here for the layer color, we're done. But I'm going to go ahead and add a couple little extra things onto this guy because I want to. So let's grab, just going to do this totally live here, so no edits. Maybe edits. I don't know, we'll see. All right, so let's go grab some handy dandy. Want something with maybe some like cracks in it or something. This look a little too insane. This looks maybe kind of nice. This one has a lot of variation. Let's try that. That might be too much, who knows. Let's see. All right, right now we're not seeing it. Oh yeah, we are. Okay. So let's also stick this through a triplanar. See what happens. Bonk. Bonk. Maybe a bit too fine. So I'm just gonna 0.00, oops. There we go. 0.001 these guys. That's way too much. 0.005, 0.005, 0.005. Not sure we're gonna see that pattern. I promise no edits, so you're gonna see me fail here too. Oh yeah, let's do this one. This one looks good. We've got some cracks. We've got a lot of variation. Let's try that. Oh yeah, look at that. So let's maybe just 0.01 all of these. That's my dog. He has a cone on his head. Okay, so let's see, offset. I just want to see some of the cracks in here. Like make them super visible. Come on. Oh, there's some. Oh yeah, like right along the jawline. There we go. We'll definitely see those. And I got that one going up the neck. That's pretty rad. We'll probably look straight at that at some point. So let's go ahead and try that out. Okay, so moment of truth. Let us bump map this dude. Boink. Input. Bump input. Oh, don't look terrible. Let's see. That might be too much. Just gonna do a quick region. So let's start walking this up from 0. It's like maybe a 0.1. Maybe a 0.2. There we go. Starting to see some variation in there. Oh yeah, these little guys. Looks pretty rad. I'm gonna switch into bucket render mode for a second, so I can see what the final values are gonna look like. And just gonna add the secret sauce. Boom. Boom. Meant to type 256. All right. Cool. So now we've just got a little bit of that variation coming in there. Oh yeah. Got some nice bumps and junk. And maybe we'll even take it down just a tiny bit. And then lastly, I think I actually want to add another dude into this. I actually want my triplanar We'll copy that guy. We're just going to offset this significantly from the other speckly bloop. Alright, so let's make this a little different size. Maybe 0.005. Maybe too big. Maybe not too big. No, it's too big. 0.008. There we go. Looks like a fairly reasonable size. Those might come out kind of giant, but we'll see. And then we're going to take a, oh, I had it, bump, blender, and another bump map. Let's take a look at the bump map real fast. Oh yeah. So now we got all these little dings and chippies in it. And now we're just gonna blend in that other one. Oh man, that actually looks really kind of nice just as that one. All right, well, let's try adding the other one in and see what we get. So in this case, we'll add this one as the base input, the speckly. We'll pipe that guy out. And then we'll take our other crazy bump layer and say input 0, so that's this one. And I'm going to put this in additive mode so that whatever bump I add is just blending on top of this. We'll just blend in a little bit, see what happens. Just going to look at some of these big kind of streaky speck areas and just crank it up until we start breaking that up. There we go. We're just getting really super subtle variation in there. Maybe like 0.45. Add a little more. Maybe, well, let's just see what 1 looks like. Maybe it's like way too much and we can dial it back from there. Yeah, it does soften them up a little bit too much. So let's go back to like 0.75. Take a look. Getting there. Maybe 0.5 was good. Let's leave it at 0.5. See what that looks like. Okay, so we've still got some of these streakies, but they're also kind of broken up. We've got nice little chips and dings, and that looks pretty sweet. Straight to Instagram. All right, undo that. That looks pretty rad. Cool. Well, if you stuck around, I hope you had fun.